Is Glanbia Performance Nutrition the bellwether for the entire supplement industry, or will things change in the second half of 2022? So on August 17th of 2022, Glanbia updated the public markets by releasing its 2022 first half earnings report. I'll be utilizing that financial information along with the earnings call commentary and any relevant kind of publicly disclosed information to obviously update you on the recent performance of Glanbia, specifically Glanbia Performance Nutrition, but also utilize everything to provide insights about the global sports and active nutrition markets. Just some kind of quick financial mumbo jumbo type of housekeeping for us Americans. These numbers you'll hear throughout the content will be for the first 6 months. So the first half, not quarterly or 3 months, because Glanbia is not an American corporation and has some different reporting standards for their particular public markets. Additionally, I did the currency conversion on all of the numbers, so any of the financial data that you hear will be in US dollars, not euros. And then finally, the comparative percentages will be in a constant currency basis, which basically just means the currency fluctuations of Glanbia, which is a multinational company, is stripped out for ease of comparisons. So, enough with those kind of formalities. Let's start with a quick update on the financial data. Wholly owned revenues for Glanbia were about $3.08 billion, which was up 26.8%. This is comprised of pricing being up 21.7% and volume being up 3.7%. Glanbia also had an additional positive 1.4% impact from acquisitions during the trailing 12 months. For those that might not be familiar, Glanbia is made up of two wholly owned divisions. Let's cover Glanbia Nutritionals quickly first, because I don't particularly spend too much time personally on this division, though it is extremely important to the overall Glanbia business. Glanbia Nutritionals is made up of two subdivisions, the US cheese side and then the nutritional solutions. Revenue was around $2.22 billion, which was up 32.2% year over year, coming from 25.4% in pricing increases and volume increase of 5.1%. The division also benefited from acquisitions in comparatives of 1.7%. Now, Glanbia Performance Nutrition had revenue of approximately $866 million, which was an increase of 14.9% year over year. But that was a sequential slowdown from quarter one. The brand portfolio continued to have strong pricing power in the market, with it being up 13.6%, but volume slowed down and was almost flat at positive 0.5%. They also benefited 0.8% from the acquisition of LevlUp, the esports gamer nutrition brand. Let's look at the GPN revenue by region, starting with the Americas, that currently makes up about 68% of the total divisional revenue. In the first half of 2022, the Americas region branded revenue grew 13.8% year over year. This was flat sequentially, and the company is saying it came from positive pricing across all categories and volume growth in the performance nutrition and healthy lifestyle categories that was offset by the challenges in the diet category. Shifting into the GPN international region, which makes up the remaining 32% of the total divisional revenue, in the first half of 2022, the international markets, which also includes international direct-to-consumer, grew revenue by 19% year over year. This was sequentially down from quarter one, which is essentially why GPN as a whole was down on a quarter-over-quarter basis. Like the Americas region, GPN had positive pricing power across all products and regions. The volume growth came from key regional markets, with consumption trends in Europe and Asia particularly strong. Before I run through a product category update, I want to quickly talk about the sales channel and product format trends at GPN. The largest sales channel currently at GPN is food, drug, mass, and convenience at 34%, and that's growing at 20% year over year. The next largest is online at 32% of total sales, and it's growing at 17% year over year. The two remaining channels are the distribution channel at 22% of the total and growing at 16%, and then specialty, which is 12% and is flat year over year. In terms of product format, powders are still the main driver of success at GPN. They make up 69% of the total revenue and are still growing strong at 18% year over year. The ready to eat and ready to drink categories have been main focuses of GPN, but they still haven't hit on a major market winner yet. Now, shifting into the product category breakdown, let's start with the biggest in what GPN has been built around since the very beginning. Performance nutrition is basically Optimum Nutrition at this point. Yes, they still own BSN, but they seem to be satisfied with letting it die off slowly and really kind of lose the cannibalization risk to Optimum Nutrition. Performance nutrition now makes up 53% of the total GPN revenue. It had 23.2% year over year growth globally, and it was particularly strong in the US market with consumption growth of 32.3%. Optimum Nutrition has benefited from its leading market position, ongoing marketing investment that includes the proven campaign, expanded distribution, and focusing on launched innovation across categories like hydration, plant protein, and dairy RTD beverages. The next biggest GPN product category is healthy lifestyle, which is made up of the brands Think, Isopure, and Amazing Grass. Healthy lifestyle makes up about 17% of the total GPN revenue. It's been particularly strong over the last few years, with the first half of 2022 showing global growth of 28.1% year over year. And if you think about just the US market, it was even more impressive with consumption up 46.7%. The category strategy across these brands collectively will be to focus on driving brand awareness and customer acquisition with new creative campaigns and the expansion of distribution in key sales channels. Shifting into the kind of problem child of GPN right now is weight management, and this has really been a drag on the portfolio during the entire pandemic era. Weight management, aka SlimFast, is now only slightly more than 16% of the total GPN revenue. It has both global and US consumption that are in the negative teens currently. The good news is that GPN is not letting SlimFast die like it is BSN. Instead, it's getting a brand overhaul. So we're talking about new brand and pack design, creative content, and product innovation. The rollout is planned for the second half of 2022, and Glanbia leadership stated it's on track to be in market advance of the early 2023 key diet season. The final product category is international direct to consumer, which is made up of the retailer and private label Body and Fit, and then the esports gaming brand LevlUp. International direct to consumer makes up 6% of the total GPN revenue, but its growth has been strong at 18.2% year over year. The category strategy will be to drive penetration in existing and new markets, and then also continue the integration process of LevlUp so that it can fuel additional growth. For the last part of this content, I want to do something a bit abnormal and just kind of share a collection of hot takes or things I'm kind of left pondering about Glanbia at this current time. First is around SlimFast, and really this is a mess, but honestly, the weight loss slash weight management category as a whole is changing rapidly, and I'm okay giving Glanbia a bit of slack here. I haven't seen the new creative or brand strategy for SlimFast yet, but something that concerns me in terms of product innovation is Glanbia's willingness to chase diet trends within a slow moving bureaucratic organization. It was keto when they initially bought the brand, which was great until it wasn't, and then now it's going to be intermittent fasting. Chasing trends are easiest if you are a smaller, nimbler organization because you're less likely to be holding the bag when things turn bad. Should SlimFast lean into every kind of instant gratification, tough to follow forever diet trend? Well, it's definitely high risk, but also could be high reward if the execution is great. But maybe Glanbia just doesn't see that there are many moves left on the board with SlimFast, and this is the last hurrah before they shifted into a true legacy brand mode and extract value with little to no growth prospects. Secondly, I want to talk about GPN's growth in Q1, and that had some positive volume growth as well, along with pricing, but that changed in quarter two. Now, Glanbia is suggesting it will deliver low teens percentage revenue growth in the entire 2022. Add on to that the fact that GPN is planning to implement even more pricing increases. So, is this the reality of the supplement industry over the next 6 to 12 months? Prices continue to go up. It pushes elasticities to the point where consumers either trade down, opt out of the category, or maybe utilize more of their consumer inventory with longer repurchase cycles. It's definitely something to pay attention to. And then finally, the activist investor Clearway Capital that I mentioned in the last Glambia content I made has been relatively quiet. Maybe they deemed Glambia was doing enough to satisfy shareholder return lately. Maybe they bit off more than they could chew with recommending that Glanbia Nutritionals and Glanbia Performance Nutrition split in terms of like them talking to leadership. I have a feeling this isn't entirely over, especially with Glambia having tons of debt facilities untapped and debt leverage settling into a range that should mean more mergers and acquisitions. I hope you enjoyed this YouTube video. If you did, consider hitting the like button to support me. Also, help me get to my short term goal of 2,000 subscribers by hitting the subscribe button. I'd love to see you join me on this journey, but we need to fix the fact that slightly less than 70% of you that are watching this YouTube video right now are not subscribed to my channel, and that makes me extremely sad. But I do want to thank you for tuning in, and I'll see you in the next one.